Hello there, my friend. You see, some of the things or events that ever occurred in the Bible were quite mysterious, unbelievable, and a normal current human being could have found them not true. Well, my friends, today we have some videos here, some of them which could have real events of things that could have happened in the Bible. Among other things, my friend, that we shall be seeing today. And all these videos is a crazy good vibes lineup that we shall be reacting together to them with you here, interesting souls. And the aim of us reacting to these videos, well, it is to understand how different humans live and think in different parts of the world while still spreading our message of honesty, forgiveness, peace, and unconditional love among all earthlings. With that said, my friend, let's also read from the Book of Wisdom to see if we can get a glimpse of some of those mysterious things that ever happened. And if not, maybe we can come across some good waves, words today that might give us encouragement or more strength. This is what it says. Oh, this is nice. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made, the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. That, my friends, is from Psalm 139, 13 going down. Interesting. It's talking about our creator, my friend here, and how good waves life of ours all started. And now, my friend, just for that gesture from our creator, we always start by giving thanks to them before we begin every show. And today, my friend, we shall be doing that together with you. So kindly humble yourself from wherever you are and let's take some few seconds to give thanks. Thank you, wonderful Father, for this good day, Father. Thank you for your word, dear Lord, and may help us for the word to grow in us, Father. Thank you, dear Lord, Father, for this viewer's heart, from wherever they are watching from, Father. All goodness and honor belong unto you, dear Lord, Father. This soul that is staring and watching at this video, Father, you know their desires, Father. You know their wants. You know their needs, Father. You know all the burdens that they may need you to help them carry, Father. And may you please do so for them. May you please do a miracle in their lives through this video, Father. And help us, dear Lord, together to spread our message of love. Fill us with the Spirit all through till the end, Father, for the glory and honor of your name. In your holy name, Jesus, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in. Interesting. So, good vibes all the way.
So let's talk about this manna falling from heaven in Angola. This is the mystery of manna, Angola's scientific exploration. And this is an area in Angola where the manna still falls from heaven, proving that the Holy Land is still in Africa. I know a lot of people may not agree with that, but once we get past this racism thing, we will understand that this thing was meant for everyone. But I'm going to read right here in the Namba Adventist Mission in Angola. It is believed that manna, a substance with nutritional value, has fallen from the sky on several occasions. This phenomenon has been reported by several eyewitnesses and has been a topic of interest for scientists and religious scholars alike. The manna is described as a white, sweet substance resembling coriander-like seeds and is said to fall mainly on Wednesdays and Fridays, providing food for the local community. Laboratory tests have been conducted on the substance with results indicating that it consists mostly of sugars and small amounts of nitrogen compounds and metallic elements. While some may attribute the manna to divine intervention, scientists continue to study and seek explanations for its appearance, with some suggesting natural phenomena such as whirlwinds or tornadoes as potential causes. And no, people, this is not crack. This is actually manna from heaven. But I'm going to leave that at that. God bless you. Have a great night or day.
Look at these rocks.
Aye, my friend, these are not rocks. These are animals' waste. Kasunguma's waste look like.
LED lighting is not particularly healthy. German Dr. Alexander Wunsch, a photobiology expert, explains the hidden dangers. With the shift to energy-efficient LEDs, we've lost out on the health benefits that infrared radiation in traditional incandescent bulbs and candlelight used to provide. Infrared and near-infrared light can penetrate as much as an inch into tissue, right through clothing. Unlike natural sunlight, LEDs lack the near-infrared light that's essential for cellular repair, especially in the eyes and mitochondria where energy is produced. Infrared light can actually produce energy in your cells. Overexposure to the blue wavelength of light that's emitted by LEDs can lead to serious health issues like macular degeneration, which is the number one cause of blindness as we age. It also blocks melatonin release. In addition, these LEDs flicker rapidly, which isn't visible to us, but it can disrupt cellular function and impact our mental and hormone health. So Dr. Wunsch suggests sticking with warm, clear incandescent bulbs, the old-fashioned kind, if possible, especially in the evening, and getting natural sunlight exposure during the day. Now, it's not practical to avoid LEDs altogether, I get it, but when you need LED lighting, don't just buy the cheapest ones. Buy bulbs with a low flicker rate, a high CRI, and R9 values above 90 if you can, because those are closest to natural light.
I wanted to get this message out quickly because I just got this download as of right now. Tonight, in particular, and this has been increasingly happening all week, but tonight in particular, a lot of us are actually merging with a parallel version of ourselves. We are feeling even more connected with our soul because we are merging with a parallel version of ourselves. Personally, I have never experienced this before, and I'm sure many of us haven't. But there is some type of merging between universes. So the same way when we do a soul retrieval and we bring back soul fragments of ourselves is the way we retrieve a parallel version of ourselves. I don't necessarily know if this is a positive or negative thing, but I can very, very much feel parts of my soul being integrated.
They wanted to steal your destiny, and they also wanted to steal your energy. And the way they were trying to do that was through black magic. This person made themselves out to be an angel, someone who is God-fearing, and their family is the same way. Their family pretends to be religious. In fact, they claim to be ultra-conservative religious people. But behind closed doors, they're rotten. They're full of evil. They're haters. They're jealous of everyone. And they want everyone's blessings. And when you met them, one of the first things they went and did was go to a tarot card reader. And they got a reading done on you. And the reader told them that you had an incredible destiny. A destiny full of success, money, notoriety, and they got a reading done on themselves, and it was lackluster. They really didn't have anything going on for them as far as their own destiny. So they wanted your destiny, and they did their research, and what they came up with is to do black magic against you to steal it. Now, they also fell in love with your personality. You have this nonchalant nature about you, and you're very energetic. You have big, big, big energy. Your energy can fill an entire stadium all by yourself. And you garner a lot of attention because of this. And this person was always jealous and envious of the attention you always get. So they figured they would try to steal your energy. They would try to mimic your personality, mimic your energy. The thing is, though, they couldn't do that because your energy comprises of your life experiences, your beliefs, your opinions, your knowledge, etc. What you think about all day. That's something they had no access to. All they had access to was your external and whatever it is you said throughout the days. So they try to mimic your personality to assume you, right? At the same time, they were trying to tear you down. So that way you could have lower self-esteem, and they wanted to break down your psyche. This person is beyond manipulative. This person has a demon attached to them. They wanted your whole lifestyle. They wanted you. They wanted your personality. And they wanted you out of the picture. So their plan was to copy you and get rid of you. And some of the spells they put on you was for you to end up in a mental hospital, for you to end up in the streets. They just wanted to get rid of you. And even the worst case scenario, if you know what I mean. But because you have the light within you, and because you have immense faith, you are divinely protected. And all of this backfired on the person. Now this person is facing calamities left and right. Their plan to take you down, steal your energy, steal your destiny, it failed miserably. And now they have damage control going on, trying to fix their problems. But they have a lot of bad karma that they accrued, and they can't run away from it.
Gorillas are unintentionally the funniest animals on the planet. Let me explain. They share 98% of our DNA and also custody of the hatred of getting caught in the rain. Peep the wall hug, peep the face. That's perfect form. You've seen gorillas beat their chest, but have you heard it? Science says it's for intimidation. Whole time. Sounds like Bubble Buddy up in the blicky. There's another thing you hear around gorillas. They eat 30 to 40 pounds of roughage a day, which means gorillas are almost constantly ripping it. Gorillas can walk on two, and you know they sound like Squidward steps doing it. This is a western lowland gorilla, and its genus name is gorilla, and its species is also gorilla. And this particular gorilla is a subspecies of gorilla called gorilla, meaning its full scientific name is gorilla, gorilla, gorilla. Sound like a designer song. Fun fact, the name gorilla comes from an ancient Greek word meaning a tribe of hairy women. Gorillas are a walking tribe of intrusive thoughts. They don't think it, they just do it. Yeah, we're not that different. You ever lock in for too long and just start tweaking? Yeah, that 98 something serious. We twins for real. You know that's his girl, and you know that's not the first time. You want more? Okay, gorillas have been recorded singing and humming while eating. Okay, last one. Coco the gorilla was famous for using sign language. She was also attracted to humans after being raised by them and was obsessed with the milk faucets, to the point where several women were apparently told to flash Coco. There was a lawsuit, but Coco never got charged, but it proves that gorillas are like us. They can multitask and look at two things at once.
My friends were standing on the sidewalk talking down on Wiley Street Northeast. And while we were talking, just happened to look up to see this thing going up in the air. Looked like a huge jellyfish. I said, what the hell is a jellyfish doing? And it just was going up and up, and like the jellyfish was in the water or whatever. At the bottom of it, looking at it, it looks like looking into a volcano when you see reddish and black,
the lava
bubbling, lava bubbling or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like under the bottom of it.
First of all, when did this occur? What year?
That was in the 70s. Around 73, 74, somewhere along
Early
there.
to mid 70s.
Yeah.
Okay, and was that here in Washington, D.C.?
Yeah.
So do you remember what direction you were looking at?
That way, southeast.
How far away and how big was the object, if you had to guess?
That thing was big. It was about the size of maybe a car, like a round, but it was round, about the size of a car. And it was about, when I first saw it, it was like looking at that. And then it looked like it was just going up and up and up.
Almost like a parachute? Is that a...
Yeah, like a parachute, okay. But it was just going...
Interesting.
Well, how high is this? About 30 feet?
Yeah, we're roughly about 30 feet.
Well, that was about 45 or 50 feet.
The jellyfish UFO. Jellyfish UFO.
The more you slice, smash, pound, crush, or pretty much do anything to garlic, the more spicy and garlicky it gets. Because for garlic, the flavor comes as a response to trauma.
If there was one thing that I would tell a family whose loved one is dying, it would be this. Our bodies know exactly what to do. Our bodies knew exactly what to do to come into this world, and our bodies know exactly what to do to leave this world. Our human bodies were literally built to die. They know exactly how to go through that biological shutting down process of the dying process. And when our loved one stops eating or our loved one stops drinking, remembering that our body knows what to do is really important. The dying person isn't dying because they're starving or because they're dehydrated. A dying person isn't eating and drinking because they are dying.
In 1923, in the Gobi Desert of Mongolia, an American paleontologist named Roy Chapman Andrews discovered an incredible fossil like nothing Western science had ever seen before. It was more than 70 million years old, and it was a nest containing 15 beautifully preserved fossilized eggs. The eggs were interpreted, correctly it turned out, as dinosaur eggs, and this discovery was an enormous deal. It made headlines around the world, and it turned Andrews himself into a huge celebrity, so much so that, in fact, his personal style and his escapades and exploits on these expeditions went on to inspire a generation of adventure movie protagonists, which in turn indirectly inspired Indiana Jones, which I only bring up because it is like not helping with the paleontology equals archaeology allegations. Anyway, these eggs were an enormous deal, but they weren't the only cool fossil in the stone that they were found in, because also on top of the eggs was the partial fossil remains of a small, probably carnivorous dinosaur. This dinosaur was super strange. It was not a bird. It was a true non-bird dinosaur, but in some ways, with its bipedal stature, its crested head, and its toothless beak, it superficially looked more like some modern flightless birds than it looked like other non-bird dinosaurs that were known at the time. Andrew's boss at the American Museum of Natural History was this guy Henry Fairfield Osborn, and Osborn looked at this dinosaur fossil and noticed that it had this strong lower jaw, and in combination with the beak, it would have been really good at cracking shelled things open. So Osborn interpreted the dinosaur as a habitual egg eater, and this specific individual as an egg thief who had been killed in the process of trying to raid this nest. So he named it Oviraptor, the egg thief. As dinosaur research continued, it turned out that Oviraptor had a ton of relatives, which are now called the Oviraptorosaurs because Oviraptor was the first one discovered. But Oviraptor still held on to that reputation as an egg thief until 1994, when this paper dropped. So they found new fossil eggs in the Gobi, which is not the first time since 1923 that this had happened. People had been finding fossil eggs in the Gobi, but one of these was special. First of all, it looked a lot like those eggs that were found underneath the body of that first Oviraptor specimen. Now, technically, you can't scientifically prove that this is the same type of egg, but, like, it was the same type of egg. And this fossil egg was so perfectly preserved that the skeleton of the baby inside it was also fossilized. It was a little crushed, but Norrell et al. Reconstructed the skull, and it looked like this. So spare a thought, if you will, for the injustice of this loyal parent who died protecting its nest only for its remains to be interpreted 71 million years later as evidence of egg thievery. Like, it's not the worst take Osborn ever had. Still, ouch, my guy. Anyway, happy Dinovember, and drop me a follow if you love dinosaurs.
People do not change until they realize that the pain of staying the same is way worse than the pain of change. Because life is either easy now and hard later, or hard now and easy later. Everything in life has consequences. Choosing easy now and sitting on your phone and scrolling instead of working out means you might lack mobility. You might not be able to walk as well later on down the road. Easy now and hard later. Choosing fast food over making a healthy meal today means easy now, hard later. But the consequences of that easy now might be a heart attack later on down the road. Getting up and taking action towards a better you is always harder now. Whether it's your body, your money, your relationships, choosing hard now will make your life easier so much later down the road.
So we are what you call quaternary twins. You don't know what that means? We're about to explain it right now. So this right here is one set of identical twin males. This is another set of identical twin females. So male twin A got together with female twin A. And then male twin B got together with female twin B. Now both male and female A, they had a kid. And then the same thing with male B and female B. They also had a child around the same time that these did. Now, these two kids, they're actually called quaternary twins. Why? Because they share 50% of DNA. They're siblings, brother cousins, twin cousins. They're all of these things. But the actual term is called what? Quaternary twins, which explains our story. That's us. We have identical twin dads and identical twin moms, and that's us right there. And what makes it crazier is that my parents named me Peter. And my parents also named me Peter. So we literally have the same name.
Too little sleep or too much sleep. I'm a psychologist and both are linked to poor mental health, but which one is worse for you? I put both to the test and I was shocked by the results. Week 1, I slept for only 6 hours each night, and week 2, I let myself have 10 hours. I tracked my sleep using my Galaxy Watch 7, and in the first week, I felt terrible. My mood was really low, but the shock for me was in the second week. Even though I felt better having more sleep, I could not seem to sleep for more than 9 hours, no matter how hard I tried. Research suggests if you're continuously oversleeping, it might be a sign of underlying health issues. But how about you? Do you tend to get...
My friends, explain this. From the quaternary twins to now something else.
This is just a reminder that the sins you are most harsh on are typically the ones you most struggle with. Where you are lacking in mercy, you are lacking in righteousness.
My friends, what's going on here? Oh my God. There's something below the water. And this one looks like it's a river. But it's like the fish have horns. But that's not a fish. This is unbelievable. What's that thing inside the water? English people. This fish looks like a buffalo. Oh, this is a... Wait. What's going on inside the water there?
This is a crazy video. This is actually coming from a witness who saw something weird in the sky and pulled out his phone to begin recording. He caught the tail end of the creatures that were flying behind the building, but the question remains, what were they? I've zoomed in to see if we can get a clear picture of whatever this is, and I really have no good idea on what this creature is. Some are saying gargoyles, others are saying dragons. Maybe it's a huge bird. Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Well, when you take a look at this and think, you can only think of Superman. What else? I don't think birds can get that big, my friends. Yeah? And if it's not that, what? Is a dragon or is a flying octopus? Why does it look like that? My friend, what do you think this thing is? Please tell us there in the comment section. Yo, this is crazy. Oh, weird stuff. New age animals. These ones are now the woke animals. Oh, my friends, what do you call these ones? Oh, this creature is just stuck on. Whoa, my God, this is crazy.
No eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love him.
This little thing is called a snail ball. It looks like an ordinary ball, but when you put it on a ramp, it does something rather remarkable. It doesn't roll down, it rocks, and then it starts to roll down extremely slowly. So let's make a little mark here where it started off, and I'll tell you a little bit about how it works. So inside the ball you see is a cavity, and the cavity is filled with a viscous sticky liquid like a chocolate, and inside that is another smaller heavy ball bearing. And that means that the centre of mass of a whole system isn't at the centre of this sphere, it's a little bit off-centre. So it doesn't roll down like an ordinary ball would. It goes very slowly, and that's because although gravity is pulling it down the slope, as it does so, the heavy ball is carried back up to the back of the sphere, and that slows it down by giving you a couple in the opposite direction. Then the heavy ball slides down inside, and it's that determines how slowly the ball will move. My colleague Neil Balmforth in Canada did a lovely analysis of this and was able to predict all the behaviour of it. I like to think of using it in committee meetings to limit the time that certain members of committees are allowed to speak. When the ball gets to the bottom and at the end of it, however much more they have to say.
Did you know that this scene was achieved without any CGI? Lord of the Rings is famous for their use of forced perspective, a technique which gives the illusion of characters and objects being smaller or larger than they actually are. Today we're looking at two amazing examples of forced perspective and one bonus effect, which will blow your mind. Firstly, Gandalf and Frodo in a cart. This required building a special cart, which would allow Frodo to sit a bit further back. When placing the camera at an optimal angle, it gives the effect of Gandalf seeming much larger in comparison with no additional effects used. The difficulty of forced perspective is that the illusion is completely lost when the camera moves away from this optimal location. Our second example is how the team overcame this challenge in the shot of Gandalf and Frodo having tea. In order to accomplish this, they put the actors and tables on dollies, which would move alongside the camera in such a way as to preserve the illusion. Special props were also built for this scene in order to achieve the effect. For the scene, Gandalf and his portion of the table were on dollies that would move along with the camera relative to their position in space. This allows the camera to always be at the optimal angle in relation to the characters. Lastly, the bonus effect is when Gandalf enters Bilbo's home. This effect is a composite, but the crazy part is how they interact within the scene, with Gandalf giving Bilbo his hat and staff, which is then much larger towards the end of the scene. This was done by recording the two characters separately, Bilbo in a scaled up version of his home and Gandalf in front of a blue screen. Now pay attention to the amount of detail placed on the lighting in the blue screen recording. They mimic the outdoor light as well as the door closing. This is what really sells the effect. Eventually, they stitch between the two scenes, such that when Gandalf turns around, this is no longer Ian McKellen's arm. This is the arm of the fake Gandalf in the scaled-up version of the scene. You can tell right around here, where the beard gets clipped, is where the stitch happens. So do you find that modern cinema loses a bit of that magic by having everything done in CGI?
Most people don't realize the actual size of parking lots, and as a result, you've probably fallen for an illusion that a lot of people never notice. First, let's say you're going to Walmart to get a few things, so you pull into the parking lot, walk in the store, get a few groceries, some new towels, and more toothpaste. You check out, go back to your car, and probably think nothing of this. Next, you drive to your city's downtown for lunch and get frustrated when all of the parking spots in front of the restaurant are taken, so you end up having to park a few blocks down. It might feel like you had to walk forever to get to the restaurant and back to your car, but it turns out this was actually no further than your quick trip to Walmart. And there's two reasons why it doesn't feel like it. First is the sightlines. In a massive parking lot, you get a clear view of your destination as you approach it. Everything is scaled around the car, too, whether that's lights, signs, and even the storefronts themselves. In a city, though, everything becomes human scale. You pass visual cues that give you a sense of distance traveled, like trees, other people, and human-sized storefronts, all of which block direct sightlines, giving it the illusion that your destination is further than it might seem. But there's also the expectation of dedicated parking. In the US, people are so used to going to a dedicated parking lot to visit one business. And when we can't park directly in front of the business, it doesn't align with that expectation. Even if factually, parking a few blocks down is no different than just parking at the end of a Walmart parking lot.
Take a look at this. Spiritual warfare. Let me share something with y'all that I recently just learned. The names of God. When you call upon certain names of God, you're calling upon that attribute of God. Jehovah Nissi means the Lord is our banner, meaning that he is going to be the one that wins the victory. He's going to be the one that destroys the enemy. So when you're going through spiritual warfare, call upon the name of God, Jehovah Nissi. Because when you lift up that banner, you're lifting up that banner in victory that you have destroyed the enemy. And it's not going to be you who destroys the enemy. enemy, but it's going to be Christ, because the Lord is our banner. The Lord is our victory. The Lord is the one who's going to destroy the enemy for your good. So when you're being tempted and the spiritual warfare is crazy, call upon the name of God. Call upon Jehovah Nisi, because he will be the one that wins your battle. The Bible says that I will run unto the Lord and he will be my refuge and he is my strength. Remember what God told Abraham. He said, do not be afraid. Remember that I am your shield. The Lord is a shield to those who walk righteously. He will be our protector. He will guide us and he will lead us.
Somebody just told me that your personality is a combination of all the videos that your friends send you, because those are the videos that made them think of you. I'm wholly disturbed.